Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. On page 4 of the Qaida, we will be learning that letters can be joined in different ways. When a letter is joined, the letter will look different whether it is in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word. So far, we have learnt all of the letters when they are alone. Now we will be learning what each letter looks like when it's joined onto a word. As we can see here on this page, letters can sometimes be alone, sometimes they are at the beginning, sometimes they are in the middle, and sometimes they are in the end. There are 6 letters which we call the naughty letters, which do not join with any letters after them. These letters are alif, dal, dhal, ra, za, and waw. So before doing anything else, we should learn exactly and have a look at all of these letters and try and recognize them to see which each one looks like. So for example, we have here the letter ba. Ba at the beginning looks in this way where it has a dot at the bottom. Here is what it looks like if it was in the middle, and here is what it would look like if it was at the end. So in order to move forward, we should try and remember what each of these look like. On the next page here, we have some examples. So what we want to do is find out which letter is this and where does it come. Does it come in the beginning? Does it come in the middle? Does it come in the end? So one of the characteristics that we can look of this letter is see that first of all, it has a dot at the top. So we'll go here and we'll find a letter with a dot at the top. Here is a dot at the bottom, that's 2 at the top. So we keep on moving until we find a dot at the top. Here we have a dot at the top. Could it be this letter? So we move across to the beginning and we see that the shape here is different to that one. So it cannot be this letter kha. So we keep on moving. Is it dhal? No, it's a different shape, so it can't be dhal. So we move. Is it za? No, it's a different shape. Do you keep moving down? Could it be dad? Dad has 1 dot at the top, but the shape is different to what we are looking for, so it's not dad. So we move over here to ta, dha, and we keep on moving. Is it ghain? Ghain has a dot at the top. It's not the ghain because there's a different shape. And we move on to fa, which is the exact same. So we have the dot here and the exact same shape. So we have fa at the beginning. So this is how we would read this letter, fa at the beginning. Moving on to the next letter. So again, we have to look for whether this is first of all, what letter it is and where does it come. So this letter here, if we see and go through all of the shapes, it is the letter dal. So when we move to the letter dal, we see that it cannot have a beginning, it does not have a middle, and if we see here, this is dal at the end. So this is the exact same shape as dal. So moving on to number 3, we have a letter which goes straight and round. So we are looking for a letter which is straight. So we have here the letter alif, which is straight. And here it doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have a middle. And could it be this letter? Possibly. Alif and this letter, whatever it may be, it could be that letter, but it's different. One line is going to the right and this line here is going to the left, which means that it cannot be an alif. So if we move through all of the rest of the letters and we see any letter which has a straight line and it goes to the left, we come across to the letter lam, which has a line down and it goes across to the left. So this letter would be lam at the beginning. So moving on to number 4, we have a dot at the top and we have the shape here. So we are looking for a dot at the top. Ba has a dot at the bottom, so it can't be that. This has 2. And moving through all of the letters. Again, we have this dot at the top for the kha, but the shape is completely different. So we keep on moving down. Za has a dot, but it doesn't have the same shape. And bod again, but it's a different shape. So we keep on moving to all of the letters, trying to match which letter looks like that one. And when we finally come across, we have the letter noon. So is it noon at the beginning? No, it's not, because the shape is different. If we move across, we'll see that this noon, which is in the middle, is the exact same as the one here. So this would be read as noon in the middle. Moving on to the next letter, we have the shape and we have the dot. So we have to try and match where the shape is with which dot. So it cannot be ba, and it cannot be, possibly it could be Jim, because it has the shape. And is the dot in the right place? Yes, correct. Jim has the dot at the beginning. So this would be read as Jim at the beginning. Moving on to number 6, we have the letter here which we need to find. So from previous lessons we have learned that the shape of that letter with a dot should be dha. So moving across to the letter dha, this is how it would be on its own. Now dha has, at the beginning, it would be the shape of the letter dha with a line at the end coming out. In the middle, dha would have a line at both sides, as we can see. And when dha is at the end, it has the dha, the shape of the dha, and then a line just before it. From our example here, we can see that the line is just before it, which means that this would be dha at the end. Correct. So moving on to number 7, we have the letter here, which is, from our list, we can see it is the letter ha. Moving across, which one does it look like? Is it ha at the beginning? Is it ha at the middle? Or is it ha in the end? And from our examples, we can see it is ha in the middle. Moving on to number 8, we have the letter from previous lessons. Again, we can work out it is the letter sin. Now, the only thing we need to ask ourselves now, is it sin in the beginning, sin in the middle, or sin in the end? And as we can see, it is sin at the end. And finally, we have here number 9, which is, again, we have 2 dots at the top. And from, again, our previous lessons, we see that this letter should be the letter ta. What we need to work out is it ta at the beginning? Is it ta in the middle? Or is it ta at the end? And correct, it is ta at the end. And our last example that we will be doing together is number 10. Which letter do we have here? So this letter that we have is the letter ya. Now the question is it ya in the beginning? Is it ya in the middle? Or ya at the end? And the answer is ya at the end. Now moving on from number 11 all the way till number 90, we will just be working out and saying exactly what the answer is for each one. If there is any trouble on working out which one, we can always go back to the page before and find out exactly which letter it is. So ghain at the beginning, fa at the end, sad at the beginning, kaf in the middle, hamza at the beginning, mim at the beginning, ta at the end, ayn in the middle, ra at the end, ha at the end, alif at the end, tha at the beginning, kha at the beginning, sin in the middle, qaf at the beginning, dad at the end, ghain at the end, dha at the beginning, ayn at the beginning, mim in the middle, ba in the middle. Here, this could be very easily, a person might think that it is alif because it is straight, whereas alif can only ever be either alone or it can be at the end on its own, so something which is joined to it, and then there'll be nothing after the alif. So whenever there is a line which has other things joining on to it, will always be a lam. Alif, as we can see from this example at the top, it has something joined before it, but alif will never have anything joined onto it afterwards. So this one is alif at the end, and this is lam in the middle. Moving on, ta at the beginning, jim in the middle, kaf at the end, ha at the beginning, ya in the middle, qaf in the middle, noon at the end, sheen at the end, noon at the beginning, fa in the middle, sheen at the beginning, hamza at the end, ha. Now which one would this be? If we go to ha and we see over here, is it ha at the beginning or ha in the middle? Here we have, it is ha in the middle because of the line which comes before. Moving on, sin at the beginning, za at the end, kha at the end. Again, we come to the example of lam and alif. Now because the line goes straight and round, it would be lam. If it was just alif, alif would be on its own and it would always just be straight with nothing being after it. Moving on, ba at the beginning, alif at the end, ta in the middle, dad at the beginning, tha at the end, dad. Now we could possibly be confused here. Is this one dad at the beginning or is it dad in the middle? So we move across to dad and we see that because there's a line which comes before, this would be dad in the middle. Moving on, dhal at the end, sin at the end, jim at the end, lam at the end, kha in the middle, ta in the middle, ha at the beginning, sheen in the middle, fa in the middle, hamza in the middle, ta at the beginning, sad at the end, dha in the middle, ayn at the end, noon at the beginning, mim at the end, tha in the middle, ya at the beginning, lam in the middle, kaf at the beginning, ha at the end, ghain in the middle, sad. Now again, we look, could this be sad in the beginning or is it sad in the middle? We see that there is the line which will make it sad in the middle. Qaf at the end, waw at the end, ba at the end, ta at the end, ta at the end, qaf in the beginning, ra at the end, noon in the beginning, mim in the middle, hamza in the middle, alif at the end, and lam at the beginning. Here we see the two differences. Alif will never have anything joined after it, and lam can have something which joins after, so this would be the lam. So this brings us to the end of page 5. We'll see you in the next video.